It all started as a simple craving. Nothing too crazy, just a small snack to get me through the day. You know, one of those moments where you think, I'll just grab something quick, something easy, and I'll be fine. Yeah, that's exactly how Disasters begin: small, innocent, completely unsuspecting. I walked into the kitchen, confident, almost proud of myself for thinking ahead, for knowing exactly what I wanted. Chips, cookies, maybe some chocolate. I didn't plan to go overboard, or at least, that's what I told myself. I opened the cupboard, and immediately, my eyes widened. Huh? The shelves were stacked with everything I had accumulated over the last month. Bags of chips, boxes of crackers, candy bars stacked like little towers, and jars of peanut butter just daring me to touch them. I knew I should just pick one thing, maybe two, keep it simple. But there's something about snacks that triggers this weird, almost primal response. It's like they whisper, "Take us all. You know you want to." And for a moment, I forgot all logic. I grabbed a bag of chips first. Simple, classic, harmless. So I thought. Poured them into a bowl. The satisfying crunch as I shook the bag out was like music. Then I spotted the cookies. Chocolate chip, soft, warm. Well, not literally warm, but you get the idea, I rationalized. One cookie won't hurt. And then the candy bar. One candy bar for energy. And finally, the peanut butter. Just a small spoonful. Just to taste. A tiny bit of everything. But of course, that tiny bit of everything turned into a mountain. I was now balancing a plate in one hand and a jar in the other, negotiating my way to the couch. And as soon as I sat down, I opened my mouth to take a bite, and that, when everything went wrong. The plate tilted slightly. A couple of chips tumbled. Then the cookies. Then the candy bar practically launched itself across the table. I reached out, trying to catch them like some sort of snack superhero, but it was too late. Peanut butter splattered on the counter, crumbs everywhere, chocolate smeared on the floor. My innocent snack had transformed into a full-blown disaster zone. And of course, this is when my cat decided to get involved. He jumped up, eyes wide, tail straight, like he had been waiting for this moment his entire life. He swiped at a falling cookie, which then bounced into my lap, and somehow the bag of chips ended up on the floor, scattering crumbs like confetti. Froze. One moment I was enjoying a harmless snack. The next, I was in the middle of a crunchy, sticky, chocolatey apocalypse. I tried to salvage it. Kay picked up what I could, brushed off the worst crumbs, wiped off the chocolate, and thought, okay, maybe I can still eat some. But then I realized the cookies had broken into pieces. The peanut butter jar was half empty on the counter, and the cat was now licking a chocolate smear with satisfaction I can only describe as sinister. I stared at the chaos and laughed, because what else could you do? The snack disaster had reached its peak, and there was no turning back. You know, that moment when you just accept that nothing can go right anymore? That's where I was. But then, I tried to eat a chip, and of course, I sneezed. And in that tiny, innocent sneeze, I launched crumbs onto the floor, onto the couch, onto my own shirt. The cat looked at me like I had personally offended him. And suddenly, I was part of the disaster, not just an observer. I was entangled in it, coated in chocolate and crumbs, and still desperately trying to salvage a bite. Then came the drink. Of course, I needed a drink. Water, soda, anything to wash down the crumbs and chocolate. I poured a glass, but my hands were slippery from peanut butter, and naturally, I tipped it slightly. Nothing huge, just a little spill, or so I thought. The liquid spread quickly, seeping into the crumbs on the floor, forming little sticky rivers. The cat jumped back in alarm, slipped slightly, and gave me that "I warned you" look that only cats can perfect. At this point, I had to take a step back. I had to analyze the situation logically. What was left? Some chips, a couple of broken cookie pieces, a smear of chocolate, and a very annoyed cat. I could either surrender or attempt a daring rescue. Naturally, I attempted the rescue. Picked up a chip, then another, then one of the cookie chunks. But just as I was about to take a bite, the dog, who had been patiently watching from the doorway, decided to intervene. Wagging tail, one enthusiastic jump, and the cookies went flying again. The chips scattered. The chocolate smear became a chocolate smear apocalypse. The peanut butter jar was now on the floor, which the dog promptly investigated with great enthusiasm. And that, my friends, was the climax of the snack disaster. Sat there, defeated, sticky, chocolatey, covered in crumbs, and just stared at the floor. My living room looked like a snack tornado had passed through. I had been outsmarted by chips, cookies, chocolate, peanut butter, a cat, and a dog. It was a perfect storm, the kind of chaos that only happens when you underestimate the power of snacks. But here's the thing. After the shock wore off, after I had assessed the damage, there was a strange sense of peace. I had survived. My snacks may have been destroyed. My couch may be a mess. My cat and dog may have judged me silently, but I had made it through. And honestly, there's a weird satisfaction in knowing that even the simplest plans can turn into something unforgettable. The snack disaster wasn't just a mess, it was an experience. I cleaned up what I could, laughing at myself at the absurdity of it all. I realized that snacks, for all their innocent charm, are serious business. They have the potential to turn any quiet afternoon into a memorable story. And the next time I see a bag of chips or a jar of peanut butter, I will approach with caution, respect, and probably gloves. Because lessons were learned, and this time, the snack will not win. Okay, so here's my question for you. Have you ever had a snack disaster? Something so simple that it spiraled out of control in ways you couldn't have predicted. Tell me in the comments below. I want to hear the stories, the chaos, the crumbs, and the chocolate. And if you've ever laughed so hard at a snack fail that you cried, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories that turn everyday life into an adventure, and share this with someone who needs to hear that snacks are serious business. Because sometimes, a snack isn't just a snack. Sometimes, it's a full-blown, unforgettable experience. And sometimes, just sometimes, it teaches you lessons you didn't know you needed. Lessons about patience, about cats, about dogs, about gravity, and about humility. And that, my friends, is the true power of a snack disaster.